Welcome back again. On this video, I want to discuss about two important parts of the central nervous system that we have not addressed yet. These are diencephalon and the brainstem. We will be also talking about the cerebellum. So this slide is just to remind you of them, as we saw them in our earlier material. But before we start looking at these parts, I just want to highlight another short point. There are various nerve tracts within the white matter, as you can see here from a diagram on the left of a parasagittal section of the brain, and also as marked on the dissected real brain on the right. But I will leave this topic for you to find out more information from your textbook. Let's get back to the diencephalon. So this structure contains three important parts that we will focus on: thalamus, hypothalamus, and epithalamus. Here we have a rather nice mid-sagittal view of the brain, showing the structures of the diencephalon, the area located inside the brain. So let's look at each of these three parts here. First, I would like us to look at the thalamus. It is an egg-shaped blob located on the both sides, and its fibers communicate with the cerebellar cortex. If we wish to consider its function, that would be really a relay station of a sort for information coming into the cortex. This is where it gets sorted, edited, and relayed, as I said earlier. Some of the functions that are closely associated with this structure include emotions, visceral functions, direct motor functions, as well as integration of memory and sensory information. So in a way, you could say that this is where the whole experiences are created. Next, I would like to talk to you about the hypothalamus. As the name suggests, this is located below the thalamus. It is important, for example, as a smell relay station. What we also see here is that it connects to the pituitary gland. And this is important for us, especially when we talk about the endocrine system in AMP2. Well, I want to say a few more things about the hypothalamus. It is an important regulatory center for homeostasis and controls from the autonomic nervous system, for example, blood pressure, heart rate, digestive tract, and pupil size. It also is involved in the physical responses to the emotions. Some other functions that we can associate with it as it regulates those are body temperature regulation processes such as sweating and shivering, and also hunger and feeling full, as well as the thirst. Okay, let's look now at the epithalamus. This includes the pineal gland, and of course pineal gland is important for the production of melatonin, which is all about regulating the sleep-wake cycle. You will see it later in sheep brain dissection too. Here I just wanted to show these same structures to you in a real brain. So that is our diencephalon. Let's have a look of the brainstem next. And this is made of three parts: the midbrain, which is located inside the brain, pons, which forms our first blob, and the medulla oblongata, which is the second blob. It is then continued further as a spinal cord. What is important about the brainstem is that it contains many of our vital functions that are essential for our survival. So, if we wish to look at each of these a little bit, what we see is that midbrain is an important relay station. And pons, then, is a site where we control, for example, the breathing rhythm. While medulla oblongata is another relay station and important in the maintenance of equilibrium and an important reflex center, as well as regulating the heart rate and blood vessel diameter. Some other functions that we find here are the regulation of breathing, and we could also add hiccups, vomiting, swallowing, coughing, and sneezing. So a lot of things here. Now that we have finished our look of the brainstem, I think it's a good time for us to look at the cerebellum. This is, if we translate it literally, our little brain. In fact, it represents about 11% of the total brain mass. This is an important site of the movement and balance control. Another thing that I want to mention is that if we look inside it, we see this tree-like structure, right? This is called arbor vitae. If translated word for word into English, this means tree of life. Quite impressive structure, isn't it? This is it for this video, and the last topic that we will look at in the next video is the spinal cord. It as well is of course an important part of the central nervous system. I look forward to continuing our discussion then.